Hey guys, what's up? Blacker Bricks here, back with another video, and I'm very excited to be making this video. As you probably read on the title, this video is all about maximizing your success on Bricklink and picking the very best things to sell, and obviously how to maximize your profit. Now, selling on Bricklink is a complicated thing. It's not extremely easy, but it's not extremely difficult either. And over the course of the last almost 12 months now, I really began selling in December of the very end of December. So about the 20th through 30th is when I added a ton of pieces, and then my store finally opened in January. So it's been a while, and I have come across quite a few very interesting people, and they've taught me a lot. So I want to share some of my information with you. So obviously, one great place to start is Bricklink itself. When you just come on the homepage right now, we have some holiday-related stuff. But if we scroll down here, we can see trending items. Now, I wouldn't say this is the most accurate. It is somewhat accurate because it's just showing the items that have probably, the wanted list has increased a lot. So you can take a look at some of these. Now, this might not be super helpful because I know not everyone has access to these sets, but it might give you a frame of reference. These are sets that are valuable right now, and if possible, you might want to get them. Now, that's not necessarily useful for us. What we want to look at as a part seller is parts. Now, if you are a set seller, this is also quite valuable, but this video is going to focus more on just parts. So we come to parts, we see some parts over here, just some maybe not so common things. And we can also go to minifigures and see some stuff over there. Wow, look at that figures. $83. I wonder what set that came in. Old set, that makes sense, 2012. We can take a look at some of the other stuff, maybe see, oh, is that something you have access to or something like that. Now, there is a very useful feature over here that I'm going to show you. When you go to parts, for example, you can either go to newest parts, and now this tends to be somewhat useful. I wouldn't say it's 100% useful because this is pretty much what has been added to the catalog. So this could be a very old part that was just finally added, or this could be a brand new part. That's the issue with this. It's not always 100% useful, but what I would say is extremely useful is right here, the most wanted parts. These are parts that are on the highest number of wanted lists. For example, the Technic pin is in huge number of wanted lists. The black plate 1x2, dark light bluish gray plate 1x2. And I'm not going to read every single one of these. This is available by going to the market, pressing on catalog, and then if you go to statistics. So if you go to catalog statistics right here, you can search up, well, this is people's inventory, but if you go to most popular items, most popular parts in all categories, you'll see that you can access these. So these are the top items that were actually sold. So you can see that it is actually pretty interesting, the kinds of things that have sold. I mean, obviously wanted lists is interesting as well. So I actually made a mistake. So you can go to top sold over here, or you can go to most wanted over here. So it's important to make that distinction. Now, the most wanted is interesting for sure. I would say that because it shows you what people are interested in currently. But the top sold is also very useful because it shows you what has sold the best. So these are the parts that you might want to look into buying, just specifically these parts as compared to anything else. Now, you might be wondering, how do I go about buying these parts? You could always just buy them on Bricklink and then sell them again on Bricklink. I would not always suggest this. This actually looks to be free. I don't know how they're doing that. But usually you won't make any crazy margins that way. What I would suggest, however, is visiting the official LEGO website. Here you can actually find quite a few great bricks and pieces at good prices. There's Pick a Brick, and then there is the buy a brick or replacement bricks and pieces. So you can just press on buy bricks right here, put in your country, and then buy a specific brick. So let's say I want to buy this one. So I copy the item number 2780 and I put it right down here, and let's see how much it comes out to be. So it is 5 cents, definitely on the more expensive side. You can also always check over here. I'm not sure, they probably have it. The big distinction between Pick a Brick and Buy Bricks or Bricks and Pieces is that Bricks and Pieces has a much wider selection, and the quantities unfortunately are only about 200, whereas on Pick a Brick you can buy a smaller I guess range of pieces, but you can go up to I think 999 So quite a few. And in addition, I know this is a bad example because here it shows that it's 6 cents and here it's 5 cents, but in some instances it'll actually be cheaper on Pick-a-Brick. So you always want to check on both. There are some really good examples of pieces that are much cheaper. For example, if we look at the shopping cart piece, this one right over here, the cheapest one here comes out to about $2.15. But if we go on Buy Bricks, we can see that this is actually fairly cheap. That is if it's in stock. So 68 cents, so almost a third of that price. So if you were to buy that, you can definitely sell it for quite a bit, right? I mean, this guy over here, wow, 394, that's insane. If you look at the price guide, it's actually sold a decent amount of times, only 100 times, but crazy quantities here. That's really insane. At an average price about $2.88. So you have a pretty decent margin if you purchase that piece. What else would I really say is you also want to, I guess, pay attention to Lego news and stuff. There are things that will just spike up in popularity and then maybe just drop. For example, the 501st Legion, obviously, as many of you probably know, was extremely valuable. And I'm not saying it isn't valuable anymore. It still really is, but you can see that these have dropped down in value. The last 6 months average price was about $8.82, and if we look at the inventory right now, it's actually $9.90. So it hasn't dropped, but I guess the insane prices and stuff that these were at have come down. The cheapest ones are actually around $6. I remember when I first did this, the cheapest were like $7 or $8. So they have dropped down. They still are on quite a few wanted lists, so you can definitely tell there's a popularity. And I mean, if we look back here 2-3 years down the line, it's definitely going to be more valuable. These things go up in value, but you also need to pay attention to trends as such. So I'd say subscribe to these Lego blogs and stay in touch with other sellers. Contact them. Hey, what are you selling? What have you seen successful? I have seen things extremely successful. For example, I parted out the Hogwarts Express, and the train pieces, the train elements themselves were extremely popular. For example, like the wheels and the axles were not only valuable, but they sold very well and fairly quickly. So it takes a while to understand. Some stores also, they have certain themes. I named my store Blacker Bricks. It's a story for another time, but maybe you want to focus on a certain color. Maybe you want to focus on minifigure parts. Maybe you want to focus on animals, plates, accessories. I don't know. There's so many different things you can specialize in. And then, of course, there are some really cool tools like Brick Freedom, for example, will give me a thorough overview of everything I've sold. So here it is. This is my inventory value. This is my current item count. This is my lot count. Now, I can take a look at just this week specifically, week 51. I have made 6 total sales. Apparently, that's 40% down than usual. Total items sold 35, average sales 778, sales per day 2, largest quantity item, highest value item, and it'll show you the total sales. So 3 on Bricklink, 3 on Brickell, total items. We can take a look at the category breakdown and then the condition breakdown. Now, unfortunately, if you look at this just in like sort of a vacuum or in just a small space like week 51, it's not very accurate, right? I mean, 10 dark brown, like that might make you think that, oh, dark brown is the most popular color. But if we were to look at 2020 as a whole, we start to paint a completely different picture. Now, you might be wondering, oh, wow, coral is up there. That must be your most popular color. Interestingly enough, I actually received an order for 3,100 of the little coral 1x1 quarter tiles. So that sort of throws it off. But if we look at everything else, it seems that black, light bluish gray, dark bluish gray, these are consistently the most popular colors. If we are to go back to Bricklink over here, we can see that if we go to the market, catalog, and then the statistics, right? We see that dark bluish gray and light bluish gray and black are really high ranked up here, right? Because these are the pieces that the highest number of people are interested in, right? Technic pins are very valuable. I mean, I wouldn't say very valuable. They're very popular pieces because people use them in a lot of Technic builds and they need them in high quantities. Plates such as black, light bluish gray, dark bluish gray, they're useful in a ton of builds. You don't see many colorful pieces up this high because they don't tend to be that common or that popular, right? If we even look at the parts that were sold the most, they tend to be ones that people would want in high quantities, right? For example, the Technic pin, fine, I can see a robotics club maybe needs a lot. These clear studs, people want water. Same thing with this one down here. Any of these, this maybe they want it for a modular building. This same thing, Technic related things, bricks, perhaps it's a filler brick. These colors are very versatile. Red, I'm actually not 100% sure why that one. These masonry bricks, obviously very popular. What else do we have? These tiles. So if you were to ever see these pieces, chain links, right? These are pieces that if you buy them in huge quantities. The water piece, extremely popular. Plant, more chain link. Bricks. So, I mean, I know there are people that make very small orders, but on Bricklink, a lot of people also tend to make huge orders, right? That's why the reason it says time sold is so different than the quantity sold. So there are people in here that are buying 1,000, 2,000 of these parts. So quantity is very important, and you want to buy pieces for your store that have high quantities. Now, I've seen stores that have like 15, 20 lots and like crazy values, like 1,000, 2,000 pieces. And they do great because some people are interested in that sort of quantity. So you need to find a style of store that works best for you. Obviously, it'll take time. Obviously, it's difficult. And I don't know. I feel like that's what makes Bricklink so exciting. It's dynamic. It's interesting. And one more thing I'd recommend as a Bricklink seller you want to do is making targeted buys. So targeted buys is when you place orders for very, very specific pieces. And the only time I'd suggest doing that is if you know exactly what you want. And you can also do it if you've talked with someone that they want specific pieces, and you can go ahead and make targeted buys. I am actually going to release a video on targeted buys very soon. Probably the same day as this is recorded, and I'll try and link that or whatever in this corner up here so you can take a look at how to make those targeted buys. But I think that wraps up this video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys would suggest as sellers, what you've seen to be useful and what you've seen not to be so useful. Hope this helped, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Thanks so much and have a great day.